Hi, I'm Mike, and this might be the start of a new series if it's any good. What I wanted to do, I read a piece that was talking about defining yourself by the things you like, because we tend to like ranting about things that annoy us or things we don't like. I personally quite like ranting about things that annoy me, but it was, why don't we define ourselves by things we like instead? So I thought, okay, let's give it a try. So this might be, if I can be bothered, might be a new sort of series of me just talking about things I like. So if that's something that sounds like you might find interesting, watch on. If not, it's a big internet out there. So I'm going to start. This video is going to be about gaming, computer gaming. I'm a huge fan of computer gaming. Pretty much every day, I play some kind of computer game. Pardon me, been a long day. Currently, I play a lot on my phone, as I'm sure we all do. I also play on the PC. So those are my main outlets for computer gaming. When I was a kid, I used to play on consoles a lot. I used to have a ZX Spectrum as well, a home computer. So the ZX Spectrum, and then I had a Sega Master System, and then lastly a Sega Mega Drive. So I used to play on those, and yeah, it's a good hobby. It's good for hand-eye coordination. I think you helps your reactions and things like that. Depending on the games you play, they can be quite educational. I play everything from shoot 'em ups to racing games to role playing and adventure games. I used to be a bit of a hardcore World of Warcraft player, as many people have been. My wife still plays. It's a good opportunity for her to meet up with a few of the mates that she's made online through World of Warcraft, so that's all good. She's actually the European Peggle champion. Peggle it's a kind of like a sort of puzzle pinball game, and yeah, she won the tournament, so she ended up in the Guinness World Book of Records actually. So pretty cool. And yeah, I don't game as much as I used to do. I think one of the things gaming has developed. I think we've seen a kind of split in gaming as time's gone on. At least it seems like it to me. When I was a kid, user interfaces were generally very simple. If I was on the Sega Master System, it basically had a up, down, left, right control panel and two buttons, and usually you'd actually only ever use one of them, so you'd just be able to sort of up, down, left, right and shoot or action, whatever that was. And so it was really, really simple to control things. And if I was playing on the ZX Spectrum, even though it had a keyboard and you could plug a joystick in, it tended to be either just a joystick, which again was up, down, left, right, and a button to press to fire. Interface 2 joystick I had. It wasn't I believe it was Kempston was the sort of the popular one that games tend to be programmed for. I didn't have a Kempston. I had an interface 2, which was okay, but not quite as good. But yeah, so you had that, and you had the keyboard. But even though you had a full keyboard, the most common control system was QAOP, Q up, A down, O left, P right, and then space for fire. In fact, I remember having to replace my Spectrum eventually simply because the spacebar broke and it wouldn't let me fire in all these games. So it was a really, really simple, easy to access control system. Whilst nowadays, again, I play on PC. I do play consoles, but certainly on the PC, it is, I generally play keyboard and mouse. and it is pretty much all the keyboard. So you control all the keyboard with your left hand, then your mouse with your right hand, and there's so many different controls. If you play Call of Duty or something like this, you've got run, crouch, lay down, throw a normal grenade, throw a special grenade, aim, shoot, change weapon, reload, run, jump. And that's before you start getting into like giving commands and all that kind of stuff, or special abilities. So it's really can get quite complicated, I would say. And equally with your consoles, rather than the old up, down, left, right, and 2 buttons approach that I had with the Master System, now it's like this controller, and it's got 2 sort of direction, little direction joysticks, and it's got 4 buttons on the front, and it's got up, down, left, right on the left, and it's got buttons on the top and buttons on the back, and if you use them regularly, of course, I'm sure you get very much used to them. But it just seems a lot of controls. It's a lot more controls than we ever needed. And I'm not convinced that it's better having to use more buttons to control the game. Surely it's better somehow to use a combination of lesser buttons. So I don't know. Maybe a bit controversial that, but it's maybe just me thinking back to being nostalgic. But I like the simpler control systems. So gaming's, as I say, diverse. So you've got that on one end. The other end is your phone gaming, your casual gaming, and that is like ultra simplistic. It's because it's swiping, isn't it? So it's like swipe up or down, or pinch, or unpinch, whatever that one is, or maybe you might get a multi-tap, so it's like 2 buttons, or swipe like that, or swipe like that, but it's that sort of, so beep 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 beep. It's that sort of thing, and it tends to be either puzzle games or like turn-based games. Action games don't work really that well on your mobile, I don't think. Don't feel, unless it's like a really straightforward that you can just swipe left, swipe right, swipe up, swipe down, that sort of thing. And yeah, again, the trouble is with that is it works okay for some games, but it doesn't work so well for others. And I was actually recording a video earlier today, and I was looking at a game called Road Rash 2. The Road Rash series was done back in sort of the early 90s to 2000 mostly. And basically it was a series of games where you raced a bike and you had to win the races. But you wouldn't just win the races by being fastest. You'd win the races by overtaking some people, but also knocking some other bikers off their bikes. And they would knock you off their bike as well. And it was a good, fun, simple game, easy to play. Playing on the Mega Drive, it was it was left, right, and then you had brake, which you virtually never used brake. You had brake, you had accelerate, and you had attack. Which would either be punch or kick, depending on whether you was pressing down or not. If you pressed down and did attack, then it kicked. Otherwise, it was a punch. And that was the extent of the control system. But it was a challenging game. There was different tactics. Do you just drive fast? Do you just swoop across the road and smash into another biker? There's all these kinds of options, and yeah, it was good fun. It was easy to play, but it was fun. And I think that sometimes games nowadays, you have to spend so much time. You have to invest a lot of time in them, which is okay sometimes, but particularly, speaking as like a parent, you don't always have that much time to spend. You maybe have an hour, maybe an hour at the end of the day when you can kind of go, okay, done chores, my son's in bed, I can have an hour to myself. And what shall I do with that hour? Maybe something I want to watch on telly. Maybe I want to go on the computer and look at something. Maybe I want to play a computer game. And it was nice, for example, playing Road Rash this morning, because you can just kind of pick it up and you just play it, and you can spend 10 minutes on it and you've played a couple of races and you've had some fun, and you can close it again if you want. That's fine. Whilst there's loads of games that pardon me, I really am tired, aren't I? If you was playing Assassin's Creed, which I absolutely love Assassin's Creed, it's an awesome, awesome game. But if you play one of the latest Assassin's Creeds, 10 minutes will basically get you logged in, you'd watch a cutscene, and you'd be walking through a town on the way to do the thing that you wanted to do. So you hadn't even actually got into the game really yet, you were just walking or running through a town. And what particularly, World of Warcraft was particularly bad for it when I used to play that, because half an hour was just what you needed to go in the town and check your auctions and check your bags, and you didn't actually play. You just spent half an hour doing admin. And to actually play the game, you'd need, I could easily spend 30, 40 hours a week on World of Warcraft. Awesome game, well worth it, but that's the kind of time that I would have to invest in it, which is one of the reasons why I don't play now, because I just don't have that sort of time to put into it. And yeah, I would like to see a bit of a return, to some of the simpler games. I think indie games are quite good for that. I think indie games are kind of going for that. In some cases, that simpler operating method. One of the things I'd love is like a really, really good shoot 'em up. Not a too complex one, just a fun shoot 'em up. Maybe you can like level up and improve your character or your tank or whatever it is that you're flying. But nothing too complex, just something you can dive in and just have a bit of fun with. But that said, having ranted about all that, I do like a lot of the new games. I do play Call of Duty quite a bit, play with a mate online. So Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Infinite Warfare, which hasn't had great reviews, but it's quite good on multiplayer. We tend to, ourselves and a few bots and just run around the multiplayer map. And yeah, it's good. It's alright. Yeah. So there is some new games out there. On my phone, I like to play Clash of Clans. That's good. Astronest, which is it's a weird name, but basically it's like a space combat thing, and that's really good. That's good fun. So you get to invest a lot of time in that. And I'm really quite excited. I've tried a little bit of the VR. I've played the PlayStation VR, and it is really good. It's really quite impressive. The only thing is, like, after like 20 minutes of it, you kind of feel a bit you get balance sickness. I got anyway, because you think you're moving but you're not, and it messes with the balance in your ears. Why do ears control balance? What's the deal with that? Whoever, how did it evolve? They went, right, okay, we need hearing, so let's put things on the side of the head, shaped like a sort of receiver to receive sounds. I wonder if we could get them to do anything else. Balance, maybe. Balance? Balance got to do with ears, but hey, so they do balance as well. And yeah, playing the VR got me a bit dizzy after playing for too long. But it's really good. It's really immersive. You're like sat there on a sofa and you're diving and dodging and avoiding stuff, and you sat there and you can be talking and saying, I know I'm just sat on the sofa. I know I'm just on the sofa. Nothing's going to get me. But this is really, really scary. And to be fair, you can get that with some of the games. They are quite immersive like that, which is good. And I think it's going to be interesting how games develop as time moves on. I think particularly, as VR improves, games will continue to develop and become more immersive and more, I think it's getting to the point where you could spend days like in a game basically, in VR somehow, and I'm sure the papers will complain about it and people will get addicted and that will be dreadful. But a lot of people will just play it and go, "This is amazing." I think we've come so far with technology as a whole. I think it's brilliant that you've got basic things that everyone's got, like Google Street View, so anyone can go on Google Street View and look at a picture of your own house, because that's what you all do. You don't go, "Oh, I know, I'll go and look at the Leaning Tower of Pisa." No, you go to get Street View to see when the last photo of your house was. So you can go and look, "Oh, look, it's before I repainted the front." Yeah, I don't have that car anymore. I digress. I think gaming's really good. I love to game. I'm going to continue playing games, of course. I think there is lessons to be learned from gaming's past. There are simple, fun games which have just kind of faded a little bit sometimes from... Pardon me, I am going to bed after I finish this video. I think there's some games which have maybe faded from the people's imagination, people's memories. Fun games, Road Rash, Rampart, Gauntlet, Rampage, lots of ours. Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Fun, simple games that kind of get a little bit overlooked now, I think. But why? Why shouldn't they be brought back? A good example, actually, is Kevin Tom's Football Manager, which was on the ZX Spectrum 30 years ago, something like that, maybe even more. And I played it, and I'll be totally honest, I got given a dodgy copy of it, because at the time everything was on cassettes, so a little rectangular cassette tape, and you could copy it. You could copy these. So if you had a dual deck tape player, you could record from on a blank tape what was on the other tape. So you can make copies of games. And I've been given this dodgy copy. In fact, I might even have bought it from a car boot sale. But either way, I got it. Really enjoyed it. Really simple to play, but really good fun. Basic Football Manager with, not brilliant graphics, but alright graphics. They was alright. And now he's redone the game. He's released it on for smartphones, and that's great fun. I've bought that. I thought it was the least I could do after I played the original without paying for it. I thought, right, I'll buy the new one, and it's great, particularly because he's kind of put in enough. It's updated, but there's enough sort of nods and winks towards the original that it makes you go, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was good. So I think gaming's got a great future, but I think there is things from the past that could be brought back and would be ace. But to kind of round this video to close, I'd love to hear from yourselves. What's your memories of gaming? Do you game now? Did you used to game but you've kind of got out of it? Or is it something that you're discovering now? Maybe you were never into games and now family or friends are bringing you into it. Maybe things like the Wii, which I have a Wii and it's great fun, and the Xbox 360 Kinect. Maybe that kind of... it's a different sort of game, playing dance games. Maybe that sort of thing that maybe you do that, maybe you don't even think about it as gaming. It's more like exercise. So, hope you like this video. If you do, please do like it. Drop me a note in the comments below about anything you like, really. Anything you like about the video, or comments about gaming. That'll all be great. Yeah, I've quite enjoyed doing this. Maybe we'll make some more. See you again soon. Bye.